Okay, this relates to section 4.2. And when you go into section 4.2, practice mode, let's see what kind of questions they give us. I think what I'm going to do too is kind of summarize what the different types of problems are in this section. To me, it seems like there's three categories of problems. The one we're looking at right here is one type of problem where it says graph using intercepts. And so when you're talking about graphing, remember that points can be generated by plugging in a number for one of the variables, doing the work, and then seeing what you get for the other variable. And that creates your ordered pairs, which you can graph. Specifically with intercepts, a y-intercept is the specific point, you can follow my mouse here, the point that you'll have on the y-axis that you'll get from a particular equation. So it's a line graph wherever the line crosses the y-axis. X-intercept, if that makes sense, then this should be clear that that's where the graph will cross the x-axis. Okay, so if I want to find specifically my y-intercept, what I'm assuming right off is that the x value is going to be 0. Okay, think about where it is. If I go to any point on this vertical line here, this y-axis, I start at 0. If I'm on this line, I just go up or I just go down to plot that point. So it's got to be 0 comma something in order to be there. Likewise, I'm expecting a 0 value for the x-intercept over here. I'm going to go into the tutor mode and see if they give some good step-by-step so that I can talk through those steps. Yep, they're saying the same thing here. A y-intercept can be found by letting x equal 0. Okay, so they pretty much tell me what to do. Okay, and they're saying if you put 0 in for x, what do you get for y? Little bang there. What do you get for y? Well, you have to do the workout. I can't write it out for you on here, but what I see is that you'll end up with negative 3y equals 4, because the 0 part goes away. Divide both sides by negative 3. You're going to get negative 4/3 as the result for this step. Okay? And that means they want you to fill it in all together, that 0, comma, create our fraction first, minus 4/3 is one of the points, and they wrote it as a decimal there, negative 1.33 rounded. That's one of our points. That's specifically the y-intercept. You plug in 0 for y, you're going to go after your x-intercept. So when I do that, I end up with 2/5 x equals 4. If I divide by 2/5, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 5/2 on both sides. And if I multiply 4 by 5/2, I'm going to get 20/2, which is 10. Okay. So they're saying, what do you have for a point? Well, I got x was 10, and initially I plugged in 0 for y. So notice that 2 points are enough to make a straight line. You connect those two together, it's going to give you all the rest of the solutions for that equation. Anything that would be on that line would satisfy the equation above. Okay. Move on to the next problem. Okay, we'll come back to this one in a second. Actually, I just realized, why don't we just keep going with this one, because it's another one of the same type, so we can keep it on the same video here. If you want to solve this out, the idea is the same. A y-intercept has an x value of 0. An x-intercept has a y value of 0. We can do the step-by-step, but looking at this right here, just kind of talking it through, if I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to end up with negative 7y equals 4. divide both sides by -7, I'm going to end up with -4/7. And if I plug in 0 for y, 2x equals 4, x is going to be equal to 2. And they make the picture for you, so we can submit. Okay, now we'll come back to this in a second.